What's going on, Notre Dame football fans? Tyler Horka here. That's Jack Sobel. We got him a blue and gold illustrated cap. If you saw yesterday's video, it's a lot sunnier than it was yesterday than it is today, but we got him looking good anyway. 14th practice of Notre Dame's fall camp took place today. We saw the first 5 periods, so about half hour of practice. And once again, they ran a couple up-tempo series, if you will, with the ones versus the ones and the twos versus the twos. So Sam Hartman and the Notre Dame offense went to work from the very beginning of today's practice. Jack, you were keyed in on the offense today. Interestingly, and I'm going to leave it at just this, the first play was a trick play. And I'm not going to give you any details on that trick play for the sake of not giving out Notre Dame secrets, but it was kind of cool to see them run a trick play. Outside of that, what'd you see from the handful of plays that we saw from the offense?
Sam Hartman threw a couple of deep passes, neither of which were completed. One of which was an accurate pass. It was down the field to Tobias Merriweather, who jumped up over Jaden Mickey, but the ball kind of went through Merriweather's hands. I think it was probably technically a drop.
I think it was.
I would not, like looking at the slow motion replay, we believe it was. I would not say it would have been an easy catch. It would have been an impressive catch, but it's one that if Merriweather hopes to fulfill the sky-high potential that everyone knows he has, it's a catch that he probably, and I think he'd be the first one to admit that he probably has to make. There was another one a couple days ago, Tuesday night against Cam Hart. That was a similar situation. Would have been a tough catch in traffic, but he's got the length and the route running, the separation to make that catch. So we'll see how that improves throughout the season as Merriweather gets more and more reps. He's going to start, and Notre Dame is, of course, super excited by his potential. The other standout in that 11-11, or the other thing that really stuck out to me was with the second-team receivers, Jordan Faison, the walk-on slot receiver, the freshman. He had a couple catches short over the middle, but he looked like he had space to run after the catch. He's looked good. Kyle Kelly of Blue and Gold was driving this train as recently as as early as a couple weeks ago,
yeah. And
I'm buying it, man. I don't think he's going to contribute this year. Chancey Stuckey just told us that they have a group of 7 guys who they see as their core guys this year. You can probably guess who they are. Faison, don't think he's one of them. But I was talking to Chris Tyree after practice, and I'm like, how's Faison look like? He gave an NFL player comparison for Faison. He said Greg Dortch of the Arizona Cardinals, and he called Faison electric. He's someone to monitor for Notre Dame going forward.
Yeah, I guess you have to have that Arizona Cardinals background for Chancey Stuckey to pull a name out like that.
Tyree.
Oh, Chris Tyree, I'm sorry.
Did I misspeak?
So no, I misheard. Interesting. I guess these guys watch a lot of NFL football. I like to think that I do too, but I wasn't going to be able to pull that name out of the hat. Anyway, sticking with that second team stuff that you were mentioning, obviously Steve Angeli was the one to throw those 2 passes to Jordan Faison. He threw a really nice pass to Rico Flores Jr., a little 20-yard corner route, I would call it.
Yeah.
Notre Dame defense, second-team defense, playing zone. So obviously playing a zone defense, if you're the offensive guy, you want to find the soft spot. That's exactly what Rico Flores did. Steve Angeli was looking for Flores breaking toward the sideline, threw it over the corner, who was Clarence Lewis, and in front of the safety. Might have been DJ Brown. I think DJ Brown was repping with the second team because with the ones, it was Xavier Watts and Ramon Henderson. So Angeli's looked good, man. It was another really good pass. Again, Rico Flores was wide open, and you want your freshman wide receivers to get wide open. Jaden Greathouse has been doing that all camp long. Those 2 guys have been really impressive. Spoke to them after practice. I think there was enough to go off of individual drills as well to kind of give some updates on that. What'd you see from the offense?
Not a ton of individual drills, just a couple little depth chart updates. I would say with the second team, Andrew Kristofic, the right guard, got banged up a little bit in practice Tuesday. With the second team in 11-on-11, the right guard was Charles Jagasaw, the freshman who most project, and Jagasaw said himself he's an offensive tackle. But as of right now, they're cross-training him at guard, and that might be a route for him to get in the field this season if either their injuries like Kristofic or the veteran sophomores and juniors and Kristofic, a grad student, can't get it done. With the first team still Rocco Spindler, Pat Coogan, the juniors. The only other thing I can think of with the offense off the top of my head from today, and we'll look back at the film later. For the second day in a row, Mitchell Evans had a nice catch and an out route from Sam Hartman. He's gone with the first team.
Yeah.
for most of camp that we've seen. He was a little dinged up in that first practice of camp, I believe. But most of camp that we've seen, Mitchell Evans appears to be at least the leader of the pack, if not the guy at tight end right now.
Yeah, defensively, I like to watch the defensive line, to be honest, because Al Washington, vocal coach, heck of a coach. A couple things they did today, I thought it was interesting. They brought out these what look kind of like a pull-up bar for like a 4-year-old, basically. So the bar is like 4 feet off the ground, and these big D linemen at Notre Dame are crouching down, going under them, and there's a couple set up. It almost looked like something out of Mission Impossible, where they had to step over some foam pads under the small little pull-up bar, whatever you want to call it, and then they had to laterally get through another one that was set up to the side. So what you're working on there is pad level, obviously, a lot of balance, kind of working in tight spaces, really working on your footwork to where it's not all over the place. And because, I mean, you only have a couple seconds to make a pass rushing move and to get to a quarterback. So thought that was interesting today. And then they immediately went into some interception return drill stuff, which was really interesting to me. No offense on the field. It was safeties coach Chris O'Leary who was the one who was like throwing up a pass from the end zone, probably 15 to 20 yards out of the end zone. They would have a defensive back catch it and then sprint into the end zone. And what you're looking for from the other 10 guys is turning around, getting themselves downfield. Obviously, if an offense was on the field, finding guys to block and to make sure your guy gets as far downfield as he could. So that was interesting. Marcus Freeman was watching that one very intently. So obviously, when you've got a guy like Benjamin Morrison who picked off 6 passes last year, you might have some of those opportunities to help him run some back. And they think Cam Hart can be that guy with all his length as well. Because if you're not going to throw at Morrison, you're going to have to throw at Hart. And he's a pretty good corner on the other side as well.
Hart, by the way.
Speaking of Cam Hart, he was back, not participating in that 11-on-11 stuff. So when the first team went out, it was Morrison. And Jaden Mickey today was the one getting those other first-team corner reps. But when Cam Hart is fully back and fully healthy, obviously he is that number 2 corner opposite of Benjamin Morrison. But I don't know if you have 30, 45 seconds of anything you heard from the wide receivers outside of what we already talked about with Chris Tyree, but that's really the only thing that we've got left.
Yeah, didn't hear much. Come to think of it, with individual drills with the receivers, a drill that interested me was Chancey Stuckey with the receivers, was having them like hop on one foot a couple steps and then like really slowly hop on one foot again, then kind of get into their release, run a little quick hitch route. I thought it was interesting. I think it's working on their balance through releases. You're going to get jammed on a lot of releases at the college football level, at any level really, against some really good, really strong cornerbacks. And I think it was interesting that they're really working their balance, not against contact, but just trying to get their balance right before they really have to face that.
Yeah, been a staple with Chancey Stuckey all fall camp, working on that balance stuff. I love if I'm watching defense, I'm with Al Washington. If I'm watching the offense, Chancey Stuckey, that's a good group to watch. Really quickly from the interviews, I stuck with Jaden Greathouse most of the time. And that guy is just impressive, man, on and off the field. Comes from a great family out of Austin Westlake in Texas. Just a great dude, and it was cool to talk to him for about 15 minutes today, and I think he left us with his best quote. Somebody asked him, who do you model your game after? Who do you want to be? Do you watch the NFL? Like, what are your aspirations? And he said, I want to be Jaden Greathouse. And I know that's kind of cliche, but he is Jaden Greathouse. Notre Dame only has one of those Jaden Greathouses. There's only one in the country, and I think Notre Dame is very happy that he is here in South Bend. We will be talking to Marcus Freeman tomorrow, so go to blueandgold.com for a lot of recap of that. We'll not be at practice again until, is it Tuesday of next week?
Tuesday.
I think we only have 2 more of these left, so just over 2 weeks out from Notre Dame's season opener, August 26th in Dublin, Ireland against Navy. We'll have you covered at blueandgold.com. Until then, I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel, blueandgold.com.